if you look at like our genetics and you look at our DNA, we're pretty similar to our Paleolithic and our Neolithic ancestors like 40,000 years ago. Not that much has changed, right? We've lost a little body hair, jaw's gotten a little smaller. Not a whole lot has changed, which basically means we have the wiring. We're really well wired for like a hunter gatherer lifestyle, where on a Wednesday morning like today, when you wake up, your main priority would be, let me run around and try to catch a squirrel for the family, or pick some herbs or some grass and try to keep the rain out, and really simple stuff. And it really came down to two things. One is survival, and the other was procreation. And I wish that as organisms, as humans, we had a stronger biological drive. But unfortunately, that's mostly what our body's thinking about all day long, is survival and procreation. Now, all of us, we have all kinds of things that we're thinking about. We're thinking about the Uyghurs in China, and we're thinking about political upheaval, and we're hoping the vaccine comes soon. And what about the AstraZeneca versus Pfizer? But really, our body's just going, hey, Lucas, survive, procreate, survive, procreate. So we have this constant tug of war where our body isn't really wired for what's happening right now. And what's happening right now has just accelerated with access to information. You can get lit up like a Christmas tree with just 3 or 4 minutes online, just a swipe, swipe, swipe. You've got more stuff than you could ever manage. We're just not set up for it. I hope we evolve to be able to manage the stress load that's coming on us, but I haven't evolved there yet. I don't think you have, which means we get hit with a lot more than we can handle, whether it's political strife in countries we've never been to, never will go to, have absolutely no power to control, or whether it's just local stuff that we're equally powerless to have any sort of effect over, and yet it's affecting us on an ongoing basis. The way that I like to think about this onslaught of stress is, what is my goal? And I think if we take it outside of our world, it's easier to get a little bit of perspective. And let's think about the world of gladiators. Let's think about the world of athletes. Let's think about the world of Olympic athletes or professional athletes, people who make their living with their body, right? They're living a lot more closer to this caveman Paleolithic lifestyle than we are. So let's imagine that person. What's really the name of the game at the top level? The name of the game at that top level is really about, not about how hard you can train. Anybody can train really hard. The question is, can you not get hurt, and can you recover? Can you not get hurt, and can you recover? If you can do that, you can have a remarkable career, but it's not that common, right? A lot of people, 1.5 years, 18 months, 24 months, they're done, right? Their ACL breaks, like, the major back problems, whatever it is, they're done. Or they just get physically burned out to the point where they're ill all the time, autoimmune conditions, all of the above. These guys and gals are training at a really, really high level. Everybody's physically, these are specimens, right? They're 0.001% of the population. What differentiates them is, can you not get hurt, and can you recover? Why am I talking about athleticism? Because now let's pull it back into our lives. We're not athletes, we're not gladiators, we're not cavemen, but we have this wiring. that's what we're dealing with. Lucas's body woke up this morning and it wanted to survive and procreate. And I'm hoping to do something a little bit more cognitive, a little bit more high level. But when I understand that, I can take that same sort of worldview, that same sort of framework, and apply it to myself. And here's how I do it. Let's imagine, instead of being a gladiator, instead of being an Olympic athlete, instead of being an NBA star, instead of being an ultra marathoner, you're a knowledge worker. I'm a knowledge worker. You're a knowledge worker. We work with our brains. We work with laptops. Okay. So what's the name of the game here as a gladiator? It's really two things, right? How can you manage the stress that's coming in, which is really the same as recovering from your training, and how can you not get hurt? And not getting hurt as a knowledge worker, that's me, that's you, is how can we not get mental illness? And mental illness shows up in all kinds of things. Mental illness is when on a Friday night, literally you go from 10 p.m. until 8 a.m. the next morning binge watching Queen's Gambit. That's mental illness.